Hello everyone, VortexTCG here, and today I'm going to be giving you my final version of Yellow Vaccine. If you haven't been following me on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it these days, Yellow Vaccine has become essentially my main deck throughout the whole of BT14 and EX5. So to cap off all of this as we go into BT15, because the deck's going to be seeing a lot of change when that set does get released, I want to showcase to you my current build of BT14/EX5 meta Yellow Vaccine. So if you like this video, please do leave a like on the video and also subscribe to the channel. And again, follow me on Twitter and X. I usually showcase my tournament results on there, talking about my matchups and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, please do follow me on there as well for updates. And yeah, let's get into the deck profile. Alright, so let's get into the deck profile. I'm going to start off with the eggs, which is going to be the 4 Tokomon. I know a lot of people are definitely, a little bit different about the Toko and the Kiaromon. I think you can definitely play the Kiaromon in this deck, and I think it would work perfectly fine. But in my opinion, I find myself struggling when it comes to draw sometimes. So just having access to an additional draw one, essentially on turn 2 and beyond, is important to me. And these can stack. So yeah, I do like this egg, and I play it at 4. For Patamon, Patamon is obviously the best card in the deck. No questions asked, essentially. This card essentially enables the whole deck. Start a main phase, look at security stat, digivolve into a vaccine, put one back, and from that alone with the egg, you get a memory, you get to draw a card, you get to draw a card from the evolution, and it's a free evolution. So yeah, this card alone is absolutely nuts, and yeah, there's not really much else you can say about this card. You have to play it at 4. We then play 3 Kudamon. Kudamon is a searcher in the deck. Reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Add 1 Digimon card with vaccine trait and 1 yellow tamer among them, and add them to your hand. And it also has a when attacking effect. If there are 6 or fewer total cards in both play security stack, one of your opponent's Digimon gains -2 KDP for the turn. The main reason we play this is obviously for the search. The search is obviously insane, and finding those tamers is actually very important for our strategy. Helps us with a lot of consistency problems, so we play at 3. Then we have 2 Pillowmon, almost like a boogeyman of this format essentially, but this card is just really good at stopping your opponent from playing stuff from effects. So Fenry Lugamon, D-Brigade, all those kind of effects are important to remove. So yeah, we play this at 2 to disrupt them. Then we get on to 2 copies of Cutemon. I don't like this one as much, if I'm being honest, because there are obviously ways that you can reduce in this game, especially with the new option cards. But yeah, I think overall I would probably play more Pillowmon over this guy at this point, because I think this card has a lot more people. I don't know. I just don't think the card does enough at the moment. So I'd probably play Pillowmon over this, but in case you want an option for stop reducing Digivolution costs, this is a good card and you play it too. Then we have 4 Angemon. This is arguably one of the better cards in the deck as well. You can Digivolve for 2 from a Patamon. When attacking, delete this Digimon and then activate one of its effects. You can do -5 KDP, or you can put a virus to the bottom of the security stack. And if it gets deleted, place this at the bottom of the security stack. Then if you have a tamer, get to hatch an egg in the breeding area. And then on deletion, it has the same effect. Put one underneath in the bottom card of your security. This is a huge loop of the deck. Essentially what you'll be doing is that you'll go Patamon, go into this for free, then swing with the Angemon. If you have a tamer out in play, get to do -5 KDP or just do the swing. If it dies, hatch an egg, play another Patamon, use your TK and gain a massive advantage that way. So yeah, this card is very important for the deck. Maybe not as much in BT15, but yeah, this card is insane currently and you play it at 4. Then we have 2 Bulkmon. This is kind of a target for another card we'll showcase in a bit, but this card is just generically good on its own. It's a vaccine, obviously. If you have 3 or more security cards, this Digimon gains security attack +1. This security attack means quite a bit for the deck, surprisingly. Helps us with our aggression. It's kind of like a mini Serapimon at level 4, and we play it at 2. We also have hybrids in Kazemon. This is a variable, not a vaccine, so you can't really search this card out, but you're able to get it through other ways as well in this deck. And yeah, just the hybrid for game is actually quite important for this deck, as it turns out. Sometimes you just don't have the power to essentially go for game, but Kazemon helps us in that situation. Also, as we're able to Digivolve for cheaply from security, this card actually becomes a secondary stack in some situations, and sometimes you don't really mind getting rid of an additional tamer, essentially. So yeah, we play 2 of it in the deck. Rounding off the level 4s, it is Geo Greymon. This card is obviously insane. It's limited for a reason. Search security stack, play a red or yellow tamer, and then for free, and then recover +1. This does a lot of things, obviously. The recovery allows us to use some effects, essentially. The free tamer, obviously insane. And it also has a deletion effect, which is when one of your red or yellow tamers becomes suspended, you may delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 3k DP or less. Yeah, I mean, it has pretty much everything you need going for a card, so we play it at 1, as we can only play it at 1. Going on to level 5s now, and we have Magna Angemon at 3. This is arguably one of the better ace cards in the game currently. On Digivolve or on play, recover 1, and then do -1k DP for each card in security. Just playing this for 4 cost, and then recover 1, and then delete something that's like 6k DP is insane, as you can guess. So yeah, unfortunately, the ace does come in a little bit sometimes, unfortunately, when you're trying to be aggressive, which sucks. But yeah, this card, any other situation, is very important, so you play it at 3. Then we play 3 Rise Greymon. Turns out playing a tamer for free is also very, very good. And even though we might not be able to activate their effects, such as the BT14 TK, just having it available as an option is important, and it just means we're able to activate it at a later time. So for example, if we go into one of the next cards, we can play another one out for free. So it's just that, you know, constant roll of getting all your resources out for cheap. And of course, this is a vaccine, so you can Digivolve this from Emissary of Hope for a cost of 1, or maybe 0 if you have certain conditions. So yeah, this card is obviously insane, and you play it at 3. Rounding off the level 5 line, we have Rise Greymon X Antibody. There isn't really much else to say about this card. It does pretty much everything that the Rise Greymon does already, but it also has additional effects in get to play it and have the effects, and also you do -2k DP for each team you have in play. The DP actually does come up sometimes, which is quite shocking, and then also it gains DP for every team you have in play. That doesn't really come up that much, but the -DP, playing a tamer out for free, yeah, we take those, that is good, and we play it at 2. Then we get on to level 6s, and we have 2 Seraphimon. When Digivolving, recover, and then all turns when you recover, -7k DP and security attack +1. In certain situations, you're able to essentially go for 3 security checks with this guy, because you have the Rise Great underneath as well. The -7k is obviously a huge number, helps us get rid of a lot of level 5s or level 4s or below. So yeah, this card is obviously insane. The only problem that has, it costs 4, so you pretty much only want to go into this if you go Emissary of Hope, or if you're in a real rough situation and you have full setup essentially where it doesn't cost as much. So yeah, you play this at 2. One of the new cards is Mitamamon, and you play this at 2. This card is very interesting. When Digivolving or when attacking, by trashing the top card of your security, you may play a level 4 or lower card, Digimon card from your hand without paying the cost, and it gains Rush for the turn. All turns, all your yellow Digimon gain Barrier, and then opponent's turn, all your opponent's Digimon with levels greater than or equal to the total cards in both play security attack gain security attack -2. This combines insanely well with another card I'll showcase in a moment, but this is kind of like an additional OTK card. You can essentially trash a security, play a Bulkmon, swing 2 times, and then you're able to survive those checks because they have Barrier. So yeah, just a little bit good in my opinion. Yeah, this card has a lot of going for it. It has defensive, it has offensive opportunities, and it costs 3 to Digivolve from. So yeah, it might seem counterintuitive that you're trashing security, but when you're in a situation where you're winning the game and you need to win the game, this card is a clutch. So yeah, you play 2 of it. Finally, we have Venusmon. Venusmon, I mean, what else can you say about this card? When Digivolving, all your opponent's Digimon gain security at -1 until the end of your opponent's turn. That's board completely, so if they push up anything, that gains security at -1. And then opponent's turn, all your opponent's Digimon with security attack can't attack this Digimon and can't activate that when attacking or when Digivolving effects. Yeah, I mean, look, we're trying to be aggressive. We can also be very controlling in this deck as well, and Venusmon is a key card in that strategy. In combination with the Mitamamon, this essentially becomes a lock for your opponent, because if you have 0 security and you're wailing at their security as well, essentially that just means that they can't attack, they can't get rid of your guys, and that is insane. So yes, we play 2 of this in the deck. The final Digimon we play is Shine Greymon Ruin Mode. When Digivolving or on deletion, do minus 5k to all Digimon on the opponent's side of the field. That's blanket, so if they promote, it dies. If they try to play something, it dies immediately, don't get effects. It also has end of attack, delete this Digimon and one of your opponent's Digimon and recover 1. Then you may hatch 1 Digi-Egg into an empty space in your breeding area. Yeah, so this essentially, the scenario here is that you want to be essentially Digivolving this for as cheaply as you can, do minus 10k to the whole field, essentially stops their opponent completely for a whole turn, and then you're able to recover 1, delete a guy if there's still a guy on the field, and then hatch an egg and continue your turn. There isn't really much explanation needed here. This card is absolutely insane, so you play it at 1. Going on to Tamers, we have 4 TK. This is probably one of the best cards in the deck. Essentially just means a +1 memory when you interact with your security at all times, and for that reason you play it at 4. We then play 2 more TKs. This is a set to free one, but it also has the on play of search a stack, add a card to your hand. If it's yellow, recover +1. This means we can trigger off the Tamers, but we can also trigger off our Digimons as well, certain effects, which means that this Tamer can be essentially played out for maybe like 2 memory in certain situations, or just free from the Rise Greys and the other cards we have in the strategy. So yeah, we play 2 of this. We play 4 Emissary of Hope. Look, this card, you might think it's a brick, you might think it doesn't do that much, but let me tell you, this card is absolutely shite insane. This essentially just means a Digivolve for free that you can also recover if you have a TK on the field, and the security effect allows you to play a Patamon from hand or trash and then add this card to the hand. This card just does everything for this strategy. This is essentially a hidden potential discovered, and people are considering playing this at 2 or 3. Yeah, that's insane. You have to play 4 of this. This card is insane. Not only does it allow you to search a security stack so you understand what cards you have in your security stack, but it also costs 1. So you can essentially pass the turn on 1 if you need to. Not only that, you just gain a free advantage by Digivolving for free, recovery 1. Yeah, it just does so much for this deck, and you play it at 4. We then play free physical training, just some additional search for the deck that we might need at some point if we need to find Tamers, if we need to find specific Digimon, and yeah, this card allows us to do it. Allows us to find our hybrids as well, as this is the only way that we can officially search it in the deck, because all the other stuff is vaccine related. So this card is insane. The reduce effect, I mean, there's a lot of reducing in this deck already, but it doesn't hurt to get some more as well, so we play it at 3. Rounding off is the 2 copies of Wyvern's Breath. In my latest tournament run, I decided to play this because I was finding myself having issues dealing with big stacks. Sure, I could delete them if I go to Serafi and Magna Angie, but it doesn't do enough in certain situations. So I looked and I thought this card might be the best card that I can have access to. It just does a blanket minus 15k DP, and it's the main effect as well. And yeah, this card has definitely helped me in certain situations, helped me with, you know, certain matchups, certain big Digimon I can't get rid of, so I play it at 2. Anyways, that has been my deck profile for Yellow Vaccine. The good thing about Yellow Vaccine is the fact that it is so flexible, and as you can see from this deck list, yeah, you can do a lot more with this deck. You could push it in different directions, and the flexibility of the deck itself is something that we haven't really seen in the Digimon card game in a while. But what do you think about my Yellow Vaccine list? Do you like it? Do you dislike it? Is there some cards you'd tweak or change? Let me know in the comments section down below. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.